Trapped in Austin podcast.
I'm from Austin originally, born and raised. I am really curious to kind of hear how the transition has been for you and Philip coming here. Because, I mean, obviously it does seem like on the surface that, I mean, the culture here in the city, I think, has really embraced y'all. And I'd love to just kind of hear a little bit about what that has kind of been like and kind of what your thoughts are so far.
Well, I think, when we first came here, so it was December 2020 when we came here to do a pop-up because we couldn't be open in LA.
Yeah.
We wanted to provide jobs for everybody, our team. So we actually did a pop-up at South by in 2015 for a scratch bar. And so we've already been out here.
Cool.
Really good friends out here. So so that was the only reason, that we came out, was just to literally just support our team. It was going to be the holidays. We wanted to make sure that everyone has a job. And the first month here, it was unreal because everyone, the entire industry, chef community, they just, they brought us family meal. Like, that never happens in LA.
Yeah.
No one just randomly is like, hey, welcome to the neighborhood, So after that first month, I was like, holy, am I allowed to cuss, by the way?
No, no, you can say whatever.
Basically, I was just like, holy shit, everyone's just so supportive, so nice, so welcoming, just, the whole community. So after that, it was really hard to leave. And then we just kept prolonging our stay until we eventually just moved here.
Yeah, so I'll say this. I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with the city just because I've seen so many different iterations of it. But I think the weather is pretty atrocious. And coming from California, right, where it's the most beautiful weather arguably in the country, it's 75 degrees year round. What are your thoughts on the weather here? I love to ask people this because I think it's pretty bad.
Well, I was born in Latvia, which, yes, it's very tiny.
Yeah.
I was born in a town with I don't know what, we had 1,000 people population. My grandma used to take me to, when I was growing up, she picked mushrooms, not the psychedelic kind, but just the regular eating kind.
Yeah.
And first she made various things from that, from the product. So, for the winter, we dry the product for eating it now. She sautés, makes soups, whatever that is. And it's very humid, actually, as it is here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think, yeah. And we have crazy winters, snow up to your knees, and yeah, so we get all the 4 seasons in Latvia, and but just growing up there and experiencing, with my palate and getting to learn so much with my grandma, just the way that she cooked. I think that's what really catapulted my love for food and exploring various flavors. Just really putting myself out there in terms of finding flavors that are unique and figuring out how to incorporate them into what I'm doing.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you about the Scratch Restaurant's kind of tree a little bit. Maybe for some people that don't understand or don't really know, if you could kind of break down the umbrella a little bit as far as the company and all the restaurants, the subsidiaries underneath it, just for people that might not be familiar, that is super familiar with it.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll kind of start, I guess, from the beginning a little bit.
Yeah, no, I'd love to hear the origin story. If you want to dive into that, I think it'd be cool to kind of just hear sort of the very inception where it was just kind of a seed of an idea.
Yeah, for sure. So Philip and I basically out of our basically apartment.
Yeah.
About 11 years ago. And then after that, we started expanding. And we opened up Sushi by Scratch restaurants. And then we opened up a pasta bar actually right in the middle of the pandemic, and that has retained its Michelin star over the last 2 years. That's in LA. And then when we made the move to Austin, we decided to bring Pasta Bar here as well. So that's been open for the last almost 2 years. Wow, yeah, because I was still pregnant when we opened. So
okay.
Yeah. Almost 2 years. But we have locations. So our sushi locations, Sushi by Scratch restaurants, we have one in Montecito, LA, Austin, Seattle, Miami, Chicago, Montreal. And then we also have NADC, which is the burger concept with Neen Williams.
Yeah.
And we have that in Chicago and here in Austin as well.
And where is that located again for people that, it's on Rainey Street, right? It's in the back of one of the bars, if I'm not mistaken.
Idlehams.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Yeah. So, and then obviously, I am opening up, not obviously, I don't know, whatever. I've been working on opening up, my commissary / dessert shop, not really a bakery, right next to Pasta Bar in Austin on East 6th. And that is, that's literally what I've been consumed with for the last 6 months.
Yeah. So let's dive into that then. Do you have an opening date already on the table?
Yeah. So we're planning on opening October 26th.
Awesome. Okay. That's right around the corner then. That's sooner than what I thought. Because it's interesting to me when people say East 6, I sometimes think of 6th Street on the east side of I-35, literally on the east side, but then also East 6 is the 6th Street where all the tourists go, where Rogan's Club is and that kind of area. Where on 6th Street is actual Pasta Bar? Is it?
So it's east of I-35.
Oh, okay. And so you guys, so the Wolf and Wheat, I guess bakery will be next door to it.
Yeah, we're right next door. And basically when I was coming up with, I wanted to bring my entire team from LA because, I live in Austin full time. And I wanted to have a space for all of us to work together, and get to create together and, have just to create our desserts, So, about 6 months ago is when I moved everyone out. And then I'm like, it would be we could sell the bread. Everyone's been asking literally for, I don't know, 5 years, what's going to be selling the sourdough. So I thought it was the perfect opportunity to be able to sell sourdough and sell all these fun things that have been always on my mind. But since, we have tasting menu concepts, it's a little difficult to get to do a little more, maybe cookies, brownies, cakes. Yeah. So it'll be our little pastry playground.
Yeah. So are you guys going to just kind of, I know some, bakeries I've been to where they kind of change their menu frequently, or they'll kind of try different stuff. Is that going to be kind of the idea behind it? What kind of pastries are you planning on having there to kind of start out?
So, for me, I am so influenced by flavors. So, if I discover a cool new thing, it's what can we make out of this? So right now, always, I'm obsessed with fig leaf. That's one of my favorite flavors. It's incredible. It's so unique. So I'm going to be making a fig leaf tres leches with raspberries and tonka bean cream. So that is going to be, and what that'll be, you'll be able to just pick that up. It's like a grab and go, but it's going to be great for, you know, if someone's going to like a dinner party, or,
cool.
you know, or, you know, like, yeah. So we'll have that. We'll have a Mexican marigold ice cream sandwich. That's so the ice cream is Mexican marigold infused from House Bar Farms, and with that we make a brown butter brioche cookie. So it'll be like freshly baked cookie with this ice cream. Hopefully it doesn't get too cold in the next month. But so we'll have that.
I think ice cream's good any time of the year, so I'm down to eat it if it's cold out.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's just some of the things. And, you know, we'll also have like an oolong tiramisu. So it's like my take on tiramisu of like flavors that I'm inspired by. And, yeah, just fun things that I just want to like, you know, like have people experience something different on their palate with like techniques that you're kind of normally used to, but just like seen differently.
Yeah, one of the things that I've noticed is I feel like with you know the scratch restaurants in particular, you guys seem highly creative with a lot of the dishes I've seen. Is that where do you think you and Philip kind of get that inspiration from? I know that's a very kind of broad question, but it really is such an I think cooking is like just such an underestimated art form in and of itself. And I really am curious to kind of hear where you guys kind of pull inspiration from for some of your ideas.
That's a really good question. What I can answer for for myself, I think I've kind of touched upon it already, but like, I got invited to go check out House Bar Farms. It's local. It's right down the street.
Okay.
And they supply to a bunch of restaurants around town, and I just wanted to check it out. So, you know, when I was there and speaking with Dorsey, that's who owns the property, and she, you know, tends to the garden, and she had me try all these incredible herbs, and I'm just like, and the ideas, you know, just kind of start like popping.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, good here. Oh my God, you know. So it's like that's kind of how I cook. You know, I'm like, oh, that flavor with this, like, you know. And I always with the tasting menu desserts, I always try to, you know, kind of compose a dish to get like an experience from the dish, not just like, oh, that was, you know, delicious, but I wanted to have textures and flavors and just visually something that makes you, you know, like kind of like think about it and figure it out why it's like kind of nostalgic as well. I like to like bring in a little bit of nostalgia in there as well. So yeah.
do you so I saw explain to me the commissary aspect of Wolf and Wheat a little bit and kind of what the idea is behind that.
Yeah. I'd love to. So next door to pastas, we prep and make all the dessert for Pasta Bar, and we just bring it over because it's right next door. And as well,
that's convenient, by the way, super convenient. Just walk it over.
Very convenient because that way we have like more space. We can like create more. You know, it's just the pastry team. Mm-hmm. And we also make all the desserts for all of the Sushi by Scratch restaurants locations out of this commissary. So we're shipping from here to everywhere.
Awesome.
Yeah. We were doing that out of LA, and then it's actually quite easier to do it out of Austin too because it's centrally located. And
so you're shipping, just so I understand, you're shipping these to your other locations in different states as well?
Just to Sushi by Scratch restaurants.
Okay.
I have a smaller pastry team just for Pasta Bar in LA.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They have, you know, fresh bread, all the desserts, they make it there. And we focus on Pasta Bar here and all the, sushi locations.
Very cool. Yeah, I know this is a little, I want to get your opinion on something really quick because I don't know a ton about the restaurant industry, almost like nothing, admittedly, but the term chef in and of itself, do you, to my understanding, and maybe I'm curious if this is even like a controversial thing in like the restaurant industry, but like, is a chef someone, can anybody kind of be a chef, or is like, do you have to go through, because it seems like there's two paths. There's like, you go to like formal school, like culinary school to become a chef, or you kind of just work your way up through ascension and then it kind of becomes like a proclamation at that point. I kind of want to hear a little bit about that because I never really knew the difference. Because I always thought chef was like something that you went to school to be, or can anybody kind of become a chef if they get trained?
Yeah, I think, well, in my opinion, I think it's you definitely have to kind of work your way up through kitchens. You know, you start like, I started working for free basically just to learn, and I never went to school. Yeah, we lived in Chicago. I just worked around kitchens and learning, and then so you work your way up, and then you become eventually, first, whether maybe you're just a cook, a prep cook, and then but if that's your trajectory, is like that's your goal, you work your way up to that, that position. But a chef is the leader, he or she is the leader of the kitchen. And, basically the chef controls the entire kitchen, what is being prepped, when it's being prepped, how it's being done, who's on the schedule, what's being ordered. So it's literally, you have to handle the entire aspect of, from creativity to making sure that everything is running properly.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
It's a lot.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely, it seems like more of kind of like being like the head chef in a restaurant. It seems like more of like you're more like an executive in a lot of ways, and you're doing a lot of delegating. Yeah,
basically, like cooking and creating is like the easy part.
Yeah.
It becomes like part, and then everything else. You just have to handle everything else. Like and. Yeah, for me, it's about like making sure, are the shipments going out on time to all the locations? How is the location doing in LA? Are we working on new things? How is the production going here? Like, how's the sourdough doing? Are the starters like, so it's literally like you're answering 1,000 questions every hour.
Yeah. Considering like just the trajectory and the success that, you have had, especially with Scratch as well, how involved are you kind of in the day-to-day at this point? Are you on site every day, or do you have like a lot of people in positions that you kind of entrusted to handle a lot of the major tasks, or how involved, and I guess like how hands-on are you at this point with everything?
Yeah, I'm still 100% hands-on.
That's great. I respect that so much.
Especially with Wolf and Wheat opening, I'm handling training, like how to do what we're doing, how to prep everything, how much we're going to do. And, but I do, luckily I have a CDC working with me. She's been with us for about 5 years now. And she worked her way up to that position as well. And, she's just like my right-hand woman. She helps, she's the one basically kind of doing what I used to do, which is, making sure all the shipments are going out on time. And I'm right now getting to, oversee the opening, making sure all the recipes are correct, like how we're doing everything, making sure the POS is set up properly. Like, are we doing merch? Which is, yes, we are. It's really cool.
Yeah, sweet.
But so, yeah.
You and your husband obviously have a really impressive portfolio and have a lot going on. Also, with the addition of having a new family member with your baby, how do you guys manage everything and balance everything out? I always really like to ask entrepreneurs this because I find this aspect of any entrepreneur's life really interesting is just kind of time management and how they deal with everything. And then do a lot of people come to you guys and ask for advice on starting a restaurant or being, business advice in general? It's
a day by day kind of situation. Yeah. We do get messages, and luckily, we get when we are able to, get to them. Yes, I've had a couple messages about, someone asking me, what's the best way to get into the industry and things like that. And I do my best to respond to those and help as much as I can. But yeah, I think, we do have a big team, and we get a lot of support, and that's really important. But, I'm really happy to hear that from the outside, from the outside perspective, it looks like, we're managing everything really well. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, anytime I love, talking to entrepreneurs like yourself at a high level, because I think it's just really interesting to kind of hear how people manage their day to day, because I think there's so many distractions now, and I think people's attention spans are shorter maybe than they ever have been in human history. So I think I really respect people who really just kind of have tenacity and really just kind of get through whatever they need to do, because I think it's just so easy to get distracted now by stuff,
I don't disagree at all. Yeah, I mean, we try to do our best to kind of balance every day, our lives. As best as we can, and we just got a cold plunge, so we've been doing that every morning. Exercise.
How do you like that, by the way? Because I've been contemplating buying one. Is it worth it?
It's 1,000% worth it. Yes. Okay. I absolutely love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've been flirting with the idea.
It really it wakes you up. It's incredible.
That's good to know.
Every day it's at 38 degrees this morning.
I bet that gets hard to do though when it's actually that cold outside and trying to cold plunge. That would probably be an interesting experience.
I know. I'm not looking forward to that, but
yeah. How do you see kind of just the restaurant industry in general kind of evolving over the next 10 years? I mean, obviously I know none of us have a crystal ball, but I'm curious to kind of get your thoughts, because again, sometimes I feel there's been such a big cultural shift, I think, with restaurants in regards to how all the food delivery service apps now and how integrated they are into our culture. How do you kind of see all that sort of playing out, over the next maybe 10 years or so?
That's a good question. I feel with our concepts, we're very, experientially driven, it's experiential fine dining basically. And, I feel we've definitely seen that kind of shift throughout the restaurant industry. We've seen a lot more speakeasy this, speakeasy that, and a lot of smaller restaurants. So I feel that's where it's going. It's going to be a lot Philip and I have been kind of talking about this for a while. It's going to be becoming, we feel a lot less 200-person restaurant to more of experiment, just very it's a whole experience when you walk into a restaurant or a bar or, omakase or whatever that is.
Yeah. So you think there'll be kind of a lot more focus on atmosphere, maybe a little bit? Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it already kind of feels like it's kind of treading in that way,
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like people don't want to go to a place and spend money unless they can it's somewhat picture worthy. I kind of get that. People want to be able to take pictures there, and I feel you want it to be aesthetically pleasing in some ways.
Yeah, social media is crazy.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, a couple last just kind of more fun questions before I let you go. I ask everybody this just because I'm a huge movie and music fan. What were give me maybe 2 or 3 movies you really like, maybe growing up that were some of your favorites, and some of your favorite bands?
Yeah, for sure. my favorite movie is Pulp Fiction.
Ah,
It's Fight Club. A third movie. Let me think. What else do I absolutely love? I guess I'll just say it. Lion King. Lion King's great.
okay. All right, so this is
like 180 from the other two.
no. Listen, I just want to compliment you really quick. First off, your top three are incredible. You're probably the first person I've ever asked that to, where I actually. So my favorite movie of all time is Pulp Fiction. So I've never actually ever had anybody ever say that before. So that was amazing.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, that's literally yes.
Yeah, I love that film. And I love The Lion King too, even though they're like the complete antithesis of each other. That's a good top three for sure.
100%. Band. So I have to say, number one, Fiona Apple. I've loved her forever. She's incredible. Who else? That's like really hard. It's really hard. I mean, I've loved Alt J for, I don't know, since I saw them. We did like a pop-up at Coachella in like 2013. That's when I first saw them.
Dope.
I love them. Who else do I really love?
Was there anybody who you really listened to growing up that you really liked? Like, was there like a particular artist or a band?
Yes, there were. Well, okay. Growing up, well, like when I was like, I don't know, how old was I? I think I was like 12 or something. But the Distillers, I don't even know if you know.
I've heard of them before, but I don't know any of their music.
Yeah, it was just like, like punk and yeah, I still listen to them.
Yeah.
They're really good.
That's dope. I'll check them out. I'll pull them up on Spotify later today.
Yeah, it's really good. Coral Fang is the album that I really like. But
okay, yeah, I'll check it out for sure. Well, yeah. So like, Wolf and Wheat is opening end of October. Is there anything you want to plug really quick, or anything you kind of want to tell people?
Plug/tell people. I feel like I plugged in a ton of stuff.
Yeah. No, this is great. I loved having you on the show, by the way, and I highly appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to do the show. It means a lot. And I wish you all the success with Wolf and Wheat, and I will definitely be by to come check it out.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I wish you all the best with everything.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Trapped in Austin podcast.